If you're a lady and you do not dress well, you don't present yourself well, right? But every time you're fixated on beautiful, handsome guys, you look at their pictures, you want that, right? Everybody wants that. Everybody wants, a very handsome person, someone that is well presentable. But are you presentable? Do you see what I mean?
That's a
So why
word.
don't you just leave that for now and try to work on
yourself,
yourself,
yeah.
try to invest in yourself, improve
yes,
in yourself
yes.
naturally,
Yeah.
without a lot of effort. You find yourself in certain environments,
Yeah.
right, where those kind of people
Yeah,
are, and
exactly.
it's just going to be seamless. If you're deliberate about your relationships or deliberate about the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, first of all, you need to become that kind of person, or you need to be on your way to becoming
Yes,
that
at
kind of
least,
person. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
You can't be in the club and be expecting to get married to a Christian guy. It doesn't even make any form of sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to get married to a believer, a man that is truly, that loves God, you have to love God. Do you understand? You have to be a believer.
agree.
You have to have a very good, solid relationship with God.
Good God, oh, you be good God.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're new here, a very, very warm welcome to you. As you can see from the title of today's video, we have quite an interesting, juicy topic. Are you your spec? And I also have a guest featuring on my channel who happens to also be my sister, my older sister, if you can't tell already. So yeah, Jules, over to you.
So I guess when I heard about this topic, it really came very close to me because it's something that BBD and we've talked about this, we've discussed this over drinks, over dinner, etc. And she said, why don't you just come to my channel and let's discuss this? So
Yes.
What's the topic, BBD?
Are you your spec? So as ladies, we always have like a list. We always have things that we want in a guy, but most times we do not actually ask ourselves if we fit into these criteria, if we fit into this list that we have written. So I guess the conversation really would be about if we are our spec, the person we want in a man, are we that person?
Yeah, I think for me, I have seen a lot of ladies because I speak with quite a few ladies here and then. I see a lot of ladies having this very, I wouldn't say the criteria or the spec is unrealistic
sometimes,
but I would say what it starts with you yourself.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It starts with who are you? So I noticed that people are captivated with what they see on social media. They're captivated with what they see on screen, and somehow they immerse themselves into that identity, and they forget who they are. So all of a sudden, it's just like casting a shadow around yourself, and you forget who you are. You forget that you're this person, and all of a sudden you're seeing yourself as the other person. And that's the reason why I always say that the first thing you want to do is know who you are first.
Self-assessment.
Assess yourself, try to identify your personality, try to identify who you are, try to identify the things that are characteristics that are unique to yourself, that this is me, this is what I'm going to be bringing forward. It doesn't even matter if it's a weakness. That weakness can become your strength if you accept that, and maybe you're working on that, or you're trying to reposition yourself. When you get to that level where you're able to say, this is who I am, I'm this kind of person, I'm a lovable person, I'm a fashionable person, I know I'm very beautiful, I know I'm very bold, then you can now say, this is what I would want from a guy. So I think it starts from yourself first, not just saying this is my spec, because you having a spec, right, and say this is the kind of guy I want, and then you don't even know who you are. It's it doesn't really match.
So are you saying that most ladies, right, we all have a list, but you're saying that the things that we want are not things that we really need, but what we have taken from the society or from the world?
That's
right?
exactly what I'm
we
saying.
Think that is us, but meanwhile we've been conditioned by the world to want those things in a guy.
Yeah. So it's just just like you're saying, from the Bible, faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God, right? The things you hear, the things that you set your eyes on, right, indirectly they condition your mind.
Exactly.
Do you see what I mean? So and that's the reason why people get lost in themselves. You see ladies that are beautiful, but they do not know that they are beautiful, right? But they keep on looking at what they see outside, what the kind of guys that social media points at them, right? So if you let's say for example you're on Instagram 5 times a day, or your Instagram all through the week, and all of a sudden you're watching people getting married, you see proposals and all of that, and you see this sort of guy, they've got this beards, they're well groomed, etc., and you're at home, you haven't gone out, you don't take care of yourself, you've lost yourself, but you you're fixated on this type of guy, that all of a sudden it starts getting into your head, and that's whether you like it or not, right? That's the kind of person you'll be thinking about. That's the kind of guy you'll see yourself with.
You'll be more drawn to, because that's what you've seen everywhere, basically.
Exactly. So it's just this indirect conditioning that happens, and when it starts happening that way, you start setting a standard, right, that is way above yourself. Okay, right. And I'm not saying that you can't be that standard. I'm saying that it starts from you first, right? It starts from you. It doesn't start from the guy. It doesn't start from the opposite person. It doesn't start from you seeing a guy and you're daydreaming about the person.
Everything that we have on our list. Let me give an example from a Christian point of view. I'm a Christian woman by God's grace. Of course. So one of my top criteria, right, my expectation is that the guy would also be a man of God, like a true believer of God, and amongst other things as well. So are you saying that with that expectation, I too have to be a woman of God? I too have to take my relationship with God seriously? Let's say if I want a what other example can I use? Let's say I want a man who is family oriented. I also have to be family oriented. Basically, everything I have on my list, I have to sit down and check if I also fit into it. Yes. So I'm not just wanting something from a guy that I am not. Yes. Or can we actually do that?
Again, there are no absolutes in life, right? You see ladies that are very gentle, somehow they are drawn to guys that are not that gentle. Do you see what I mean?
Introvert, extrovert.
Exactly. So you can see that the opposite sometimes
it
attracts.
Yes.
But that happens when you leave things to chance. Naturally, right, you attract the opposite if you just leave things to chance.
Right.
But if you're deliberate about your relationships, or deliberate about the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, first of all, you need to become that kind of person, or you need to be on your way to becoming that kind of person. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be in the club and be expecting to get married to a Christian guy. It doesn't even make any form of sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to get married to a believer, a man that is truly, that loves God, you have to love God. Do you understand? You have to be a believer. You have to have a very solid relationship with God, because God is that God. God will bring somebody after His heart to you. So for us Christians, we don't leave things to chance, right? Yeah. We are deliberate. We don't leave things to the universe to
very
align.
Intentional.
So we're very intentional. We don't leave things for the universe to align and all of that, because if you do, that's when you start attracting the opposite, and you're thinking, I've been in 4 relationships. How come I keep attracting the same kind of people? And that's because you're not deliberate in your in choosing who you want to spend the rest of your life with, etc. So it's just that deliberate action. It's just that taking more time to invest in yourself, to develop yourself, right? And once you develop yourself to that level, you find that you will start getting the kind of people that you want to speak with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'll give you one more example. Okay. If you're a lady and you do not dress well, you don't present yourself well, right? But every time you're fixated on beautiful, handsome guys, you look at their pictures, you want that, right? Everybody wants that. Everybody wants, a very handsome person, somebody that is well presentable. But are you presentable? Do you see what I mean? So why don't you just leave that for now and try to work on yourself, try to invest in yourself, improve in yourself naturally, without a lot of effort. You find yourself in certain environments, right, where those kind of people are, and it's just going to be seamless,
and the person would even be attracted to you, because you can have this whole list, right, but if you're not what you want, the person you want might not even be attracted to you. Do you get? So this makes so much sense.
And it's really all in the mind. You find some ladies just daydreaming about this
God, kind of
just daydreaming. Oh, I wish, but they haven't stopped. And that's where I'm trying to lay a lot of emphasis on the fact that they haven't really stopped to check them, check inwardly and just saying, this is what I want, this is what I want. But you haven't really stopped for a moment to check yourself. Am I
true?
My type's type?
That's it. Am I my spec?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've got sons, right? And from a male perspective, they're also looking.
That's the thing. We think that we are the only ones that have these guys. We're not the only ones that have a list. I'm sure the guys still have a list of what they want in a lady.
Yeah.
So in as much as we too want certain things, they too want certain things from us.
Yeah, definitely.
It goes both ways.
Exactly. And that's why it's just, you know, yourself, the kind of environment that you intentionally go to, the kind of environment you intentionally put yourself or place yourself in, right? Then you'll find out that there are certain type of people that naturally they inhabit in such environment. Does that make sense? And that's the reason why things like this shouldn't be left to chance. It has to be deliberate. It has to be intentional. You know, there are certain places you shouldn't find yourself in. There are certain places you shouldn't be in. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are certain areas you shouldn't be in because you could find thugs there. Does that make sense?
Exactly. So, looking for Prince Charming in the gutter, basically.
It doesn't even, So it starts with you. It starts, it starts.
Also, I wanted to ask as well. So, do you think some of us ladies, especially Christian ladies, have unrealistic expectations? I don't know if you've seen my own list, because I too have a list of what I want in a guy. And sometimes I look at them and I'm like, is this realistic? Is this feasible? But the answer is yes to me. But someone might see that list and be like, this is asking for too much. Like, you can't have your list in one guy. Do you get? You know when they say you want Nicki Minaj in Chioma Jesus body? Collabo. Do you think our list is basically not realistic?
Yeah, I think it's this age. Do you understand what I'm saying? This list and all of these things, right? They all come from this new age, the new era.
Fair enough,
yeah, it does, because you know that's where you see a lady adding this to the list and adding that to the list, and every time she goes out and she sees something
like
on
a
social media,
list.
you understand? You keep adding. No, it has to be like this. It has to do like. It has to.
Yes.
I wouldn't say realistically. I would say that, you know, the way God has made us human beings, right? It's not like these things don't exist in a human being, right? But you can't just see it all of a sudden. You have to cultivate it. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these gifts and qualities that you are looking for, they might be hidden in the guy, but it's not all going to present.
Treasure.
Yeah, it's not all going to present itself like, and that's where a lot of ladies miss out because
so are you saying we should date potential then? Because
well, it all depends. It all depends on what you want. It all depends on, I think they call it the deal breakers and the things that are not,
exactly,
you know, deal breakers,
non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. So it all depends on what you have put in that list. What are your priorities? You know, what are the must-haves? You know, what are the should-haves and could-haves, and the things that would not be, that you would never compromise on. And that sort of list, I think it should be laid in, you know, to God in prayer.
That should be the foundation.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, such lists could also be out of pride. Do you understand? Yes. I've seen that happen. It could also be out of pride, out of the fact that, you know, you can't settle, you won't settle. And again, it's all about the new age. It's all about this new age. It's all about, you know, what the society and social media is preaching. You know, it's pushing these ideologies. Don't settle, won't settle, you know, things like that. It sounds nice, and they've got legal backings, and, you know, they have very good reasons why. But again, it's not godly. Does that make sense? It's good, most times, but it's not God. Does that make sense? It sounds good. I mean, you know, you have valid reasons and everything, but it's still not godly. So the standards, first of all, is flawed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the reason why the expectations of the Christian singles are not being met. You understand? Because the standards at which they built that list, their shopping list, or the standards at which they are looking for the guy is not godly. It's not a godly list in the first place. And I'm going to give you an example. So you see a guy that is well groomed and looks very good, probably throws a little bit of attitude, and all of a sudden you want that guy. But there's somebody that probably isn't well groomed, has a very good heart, you know, really likes you,
and
is begging and you're like, no, I don't want this one, I want that one. Do you see what I mean? But that one probably was like this one at the beginning. It took a lot of working, right, to get him to that level. So I think, you know, what is really important, right? The world has blinded us, you know, towards those important and core values that you should be looking at, and we're just looking at things that are not.
I think most times we prioritize the negotiables, right, and the non-negotiables we basically just not prioritize them, basically.
Again,
so it's like
yeah.
upside down.
It's really upside
Yeah.
down, and it's because it's not people's, I mean, it's not their fault, right? It's not the lady's
Yeah.
fault. It's just based on society.
It's too much.
What they
It's too
see,
much.
what they perceive, what is
Yeah,
on, I mean,
it's a
you go
lot.
on social media, it's all there.
Yeah.
On the internet, it's all there. Around you, it's all
Yeah,
there. So all of a sudden your
absolutely.
values are not valuing anymore. Do you see what I mean? They're not,
Exactly,
they're like, what kind
yeah.
of values are this? It's not,
Yeah.
it's not realistic, you know, and that's the word, realistic. What does that mean? So what we are looking at, or what the singles are looking at, right? The outcome is, I want to get married.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But a lot of them don't really understand what marriage is. It's not about the physical facade. It's just too deep for you to use physical qualities and attributes, you know, and most times that's what I see on the shopping list.
True.
Unfortunately, but yeah, it's the new age.
Yeah, I think 70% is like the outward, and then the next, or the other 20% is like the inside, his heart, his character, his fruit of the spirit, and all of that stuff.
And these are the, you know, God is really amazing, because when we look at those inward characters, right, that are supposed to be the foundation, they bring out an outward manifestation. A man that has a very good heart, in no time he will be handsome, trust me.
Oof.
Yeah. The goodness of his heart, the richness of his heart, the love he has for God, suddenly will start fading away those things that you thought, oh yeah, his eyes were bulgy, that you don't find attractive.
Oof.
Do you know what I'm saying? There is that, you know, inward working that brings out the outward manifestation.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing in this new age is people just chasing after the outward, chasing as long as it looks fine, as long as it's presentable, as long as, you know, my friends can like, oh wow, as long as, you know, I take him to church and everybody's like, where did you get him? As long as, you know, we are pleasing everyone, then it's deeper than it's really deeper than
so
this.
How can we, because like you said, we are in this new age, we have the internet, Instagram especially, where you see all of these unrealistic expectations from the world. So how do we as believers make sure that that doesn't impact how we see dating and how we see men? Because we're not meant to live our life according to the standards and the principles of this world. So we are in this world, but we're not of this world. So how do we make sure that these standards we have, these specs we have, like the requirements we have, are not based on what we see, but based on our own core values and the principles that God has given us to live by? How do we do that?
So the first thing I feel is you believe in the principles. A lot of people do not believe the principles in the first place. They just feel that it's scam. You know, like all these things, you know, it's scam. And that's because we don't have a lot of examples, probably. We don't have a lot of Christian marriages or Christian examples and all of that. So one of the first for the person is, do you believe, right, that this can work for you? Do you believe that, you know, God has you in the center of his heart?
Yeah, if you do it God's
you know?
way, it will work
for
you.
Because some people want to do it, but they just don't believe it would work. They believe what, you know, human beings naturally are more inclined to what they can see, feel, and touch, right? So these are things that, you know, you can't see, feel, and touch. You just have to believe God, and that's where the faith comes from. And God said his spirit, if you want to worship him, there's no two ways about it. You just have to get into that spiritual level where you can, you know, understand what he's doing. So the first standpoint is, do you believe that even in this era where we're having 90% failed marriages, 80% failed marriages, where the statistics are not favorable, do you believe that yours will be right? Do you believe that God will help you out? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. You believe in the principles and the practices and the laws that the Lord has put down. Then the second thing is being disciplined. Understanding that the things that we see are not real. They are not. It's the discipline. It's just you telling yourself every single day that I'm going to be fine. These things are not real. They are not real. They are like screensaver, right?
That's it.
It's just like when you're working and you're somebody doing something not nice on the internet and somebody comes in and just quickly that's just what it is.
Oh, I wish we saw it like that.
A lot of the things that we see in the world, they are just not it. They're just, everybody wears that screensaver. Do you understand what I'm saying? That facade. And yes, you might be drawn into that, right? But when you go in there, you'd also want to put on that facade, because that's how they live. That's how the other half lives, unfortunately.
Sad.
Yeah, it is. It's a discipline. It's a discipline, because whether I like it or not, we are in this world. There's nothing you can do about it.
So you can't close your eyes.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't. But you just have to, after looking at that, then you come back to yourself and say, nah, there got to be more than this. Life is more than this. This is not it.
I know what I want for myself.
I know what I want for, and I believe that I'm going to have this. You understand? And once you hold on to that belief, I'm telling you the truth, right? It just comes to you. It comes to you, because you're going to be praying about it. You're going to be believing God about it, and you find out that the person that is coming to you might not have all of those physical qualities yet. Yet, but there is something, or there are certain things inside of this man you would know. You understand what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit will bear witness that there's greatness in this person.
Come on.
And that is if you too are not looking for those, those physical things that fade away. Do you understand? When you listen to a very serious guy, a serious human being, you would know if he's going somewhere. And I think that's where the maturity comes into play. So I know we have another topic about, the age of marriage. So let me not go into that.
We do a lot of juicy topics, but I think we've spoken enough about this, or do you want to add anything?
No, I think it's just to summarize, right, that you're looking for your spec. Right. The first thing is to make sure that the item on your list, right? The item on your list is not based on the things that you have been seeing on social media.
That's one, yes.
You understand? They have to be core values. They have to align with the principles of God. They have to align this. They are deep-rooted things. You understand what I'm saying? Not just flimsy things. For example, you want to marry a husband, you have to be able to find out if that man if he has fatherly qualities. It's not about if he's handsome, if he's got beards and things like that. Can this guy be a father to my children?
Speak on it.
You understand? Is he disciplined enough? When I speak to him, can he father my children? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can I go to bed at night knowing fully well that I've got a father to my children, I've got a husband, I've got a prophet, I've got a priest? Can I sleep well at night with this kind of person? Those are the core. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not whether he's got beards. The beards will fade away. Do you understand what I mean?
Not the beards
all of those
fading
things,
away.
they'll fade away.
They sure will.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you want somebody that can keep you safe and secure. I'm just giving an example. So first of all, your list has to be, I wouldn't say realistic, because what does that mean? It
looks
not
differently.
It's
for
vague
different people.
for different people. But they have core, especially if it's marriage you're thinking about. They are core values, right? Core spiritual and physical values that are, that you shouldn't be joking with. You understand what I'm saying? So those should be your priority. They should be your must-have in your list. Then the rest of them can be should have and could have. And the should have and could have, they will always come back later. So that's the secondly, you need to now believe that list. Once you have built your list with those core values, I think at some point we'll be talking about some of these core values, what those core values should be, just to guide you on how you should, what you should be looking out for in a man. So we're going to talk about that.
A godly man, not just any man.
I think we're all talking about, the foundation is
fair enough.
God, isn't
fair
it?
Enough.
So we're not going to be reiterating that enough, but, on this channel, we talk about God. We talk about not the things that are good, but the things that are God. We need to be, there's a difference. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of Christians miss it. Oh, it's good, it's nice, but it's not good. God though, right? So the first thing is making sure that list, it's based on those core values, godly values, spiritual values, etc. Then the second step is believing the list, not just writing it and say, okay, I'm a Christian girl, I've written my list, God will do it, please let's on to the next. No, you don't do that. You have to believe that a man will come out of that list, and God will create a being out of that list for you. And it doesn't really matter what you see, what you feel, what you touch, what the society is saying, or what is happening around you.
What statistics
God is a creator. He will create something out of nothing. If you believe in him, the Bible says that even the dead, they got back, the women got back their dead, back to life believe it, that would never fade away. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So
Then
good.
then thirdly, you know, just improve on yourself, develop yourself with everything that you got. You know, it's not just about the man, it's about also being the best version of yourself.
Yes.
So that God can look at you and be proud of you and say, oh my God, you know, James, have you considered my daughter
Come
Ruth?
on.
Do you understand what I mean? It's something that, you know, even God in heaven looks at you and he's just so proud of you, because you have taken that little seed and you have, you know, developed it and you've become an oak tree. Do you understand? So that when that man comes, it's like, you know,
can't resist.
Cannot, because you have so much in
God
you.
help me.
You know, so it's yeah, we
I
will
love
expatiate
it.
more on
I
that.
love
but
it. Yeah,
I think those three steps should help.
That's
for
so
now.
good. That's so good. I love that we rounded up with like practical things that one can take away. So guys, we'll be ending here. I don't want the video to be too long. Like we said, we have quite interesting, juicy topics on relationship, dating, marriage, courting, and all of those good stuff for you guys. So stay tuned. But thank you so much for dropping gems.
All right,
This has been a very interesting conversation. Thank you so much,
having
guys. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Also leave us a comment. Let us know, are you your spec first of all? Also, what do you look out for in a partner? And I'll catch you all in my next one. Okay, bye.